There are some things, ladies and gentlemen, that in the truth movement and in the freedom movement and in the whatever movement, sovereignty movement, whatever you want to call this collective of people who are beginning to sort of wake up to the nonsense that's been told to us over the years, things like the spraying of the skies and the tyrannical nature of the government and the money creation, all of this sort of stuff, the digital IDs, the 15-minute cities, the WEF and their one world government, all of that. That the people who are waking up, there are some things. I mean, we've gone through and we've realised that the medical profession, for example, and the pharmaceutical profession have not been completely honest with us over the years, and they've told us a few porky pies, have they not? But there are some things which even those people who are awake and open-minded still struggle with certain things because they've been so programmed by television, by adverts, by the government, by messaging. They still kind of go, oh, hang on a minute, no, no, Richard, that's immovable. That's a fact. That is a fact. And so I'm going to do something now. Many people know, perhaps, that actually I puff at one of these things. You may have seen them in the old films. This is a lovely little pipe. I've got one of these things here. I just want to be careful how I say this for the algorithm of you know what. But for the purposes of this demonstration, here we go. Now, I know what people are thinking. Even, as I say, even people in this movement that we're doing, they would go, oh, gosh, no, that's proven, isn't it? That's proven to be bad for your health. It's actually proven. A pipe is a fantastic thing. You have so many different accoutrements to it. And the great thing is it does go out. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Now you may, but the thing is, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, gosh, that's damaging your health, isn't it? That's so terrible for you. It's so bad. Now, I've mentioned this book before. This is Smoke Screens, The Truth About Tobacco by Richard White. A fascinating study of the studies that have been done to try and prove that tobacco is actually bad for your health and that smoking kills and all this sort of nonsense. But it actually shows more that the research is all biased to try and show you reasons to give up and not take it. Now, I'm indebted to one of my viewers a couple of viewers have done this actually, have sent me various videos by a chap called Dr. Brian Ardis. Now, you may or may not know the name, but he has discovered in recent years that the nicotine that's in this object, although not actually as strong as it is if you do the white sticks and things, is not addictive. It's not addictive at all in any shape or form. And in fact, it has been announced by doctors some time ago. I'll put a link in the description where he's talking about this in great gusto. It isn't addictive. And not only is it not addictive, it's actually good for you. During the time when people were in hospital and dying of that virus, in 2020, just before the medical intervention came out, the people who did this were not getting ill. And in fact, if you put the patches on, those that were on ventilators, you put the patches on them, they weren't dying because this thing has anti-inflammatory properties in it, healing properties. You wouldn't believe it, would you? You wouldn't think that is the situation, but it is. But not only that, nicotine apparently is also in things like tomatoes. They're in bell peppers. They're in what the Americans call eggplants, and we call aubergines over here, in cauliflower, and even in white potatoes. And if you go to the doctor and you have a certain condition, they say, oh yeah, just to avoid eating all these certain types of products. Actually, if you ate those sort of products, the white potatoes and the cauliflowers and so on, you'd actually get better much quicker, because these people are lying to you. And the government are desperate for you now to not be able to smoke, because the way that they're controlling us, the way that they are getting rid of us, is very clever and very devious and very nefarious, but they're doing it. And one of the things that will be resistant, of course, to that is the properties of nicotine, which is where and why I've started to take up pipe. I've been doing this for about 4 or 5 months now. Most delightful. And not only is it delightful, and actually quite safe, it's and not addictive. And I know the truthers are going, wait, no, it is, because they've been so brainwashed. Even there are some lines they just cannot cross. But let's have a look and see what the government are trying to do, because they're going to say, oh, no, but this is for your health, you see. We want to decimate this industry, this whole industry of growing tobacco plants or anything with nicotine in. We're going to get rid of it. So let's have a look and see what they say. So this is on the government's own website. Smoke-free generation, one step closer as bill is introduced. The tobacco and vapes bill. Now, vapes, let's not conflate the two. Let's not put vapes in this. That's a digital product. That is an electrical product. That is I don't know. I don't think that's healthy at all. I'm not saying it's necessarily a poison, but it's chemicals. It's a different chemical. It's not a natural product. It's not a herb, as in the way tobacco is a medicinal herb that has lots of medicinal properties and was known to be medicinal until science decided to get and rear its ugly head and try to tell us what's what and guide us and program us to believe certain things. So let's go back to this. So tobacco and vape bill will deliver on the Prime Minister's commitment to create a smoke-free generation, saving thousands of lives and billions for the NHS. Really? Is that really what's going on? So the bill will deliver on the Prime Minister's commitment to create smoke-free generation. New powers to restrict vape flavours. Yeah, not worried about the vape. A new bill to protect future generations across the UK from the harmful impacts of smoking and build a better future for our children. Smoking is the single biggest preventable killer and costs the NHS and the economy an estimated 17 billion a year. How do we know that? It is highly addictive. It's not addictive. Nicotine is not addictive. 4 in 5 smokers start smoking before the age of 20, and the remaining are addicted for the rest of their lives. This puts a huge pressure on the NHS, with someone admitted to hospital with a smoking-related condition almost every minute in the UK. So that's the biggest load of old crap that you probably will hear. As long as, also we're dimming the skies for your benefit. Of course, you're not dimming the skies for our benefit whatsoever. What was I going to say? Now I sort of lost my memory there for a moment. Maybe that was the tobacco. No, that's the nonsense of the nonsense that we are being programmed. Because it says there that it is addictive. It's the chemicals that the cigarette companies put in to the tobacco to make it addictive, because they needed to make it addictive, because at one point they wanted people to smoke in vast numbers because they were getting the tax revenue, because the tax revenue was useful to them. Now, of course, what with the pandemic and various things and the medical intervention, which nicotine also helps to get rid of, then they don't want you to smoke. And I believe Dr. Fauci said at the beginning of COVID, this is a good time to give up smoking, as if that was going to be really helpful. I disagree. I think this is not the good time to give it up. In fact, they're trying to get rid of it. Now, the BBC, look at this. This is the BBC doing the work of the devil again. What is the UK smoking ban? How will it start? And how will it work? And it's not a nice image. I grant you, people smoking. A pipe, of course, is much nicer. The restriction to apply to the sale of cigarettes in the UK rather than the act of smoking itself. Well, thank you very much, because I dare say some of the politicians will want to smoke because they want to protect themselves. It means that people born after 2009 will never able legally to buy cigarettes. The law will not affect those who are already allowed to buy. So they're basically creating a generation free. And then it does the same old crap here. Cigarettes release thousands of different chemicals when they burn, including carbon monoxide, lead, and ammonia. That many components of tobacco are poisonous and up to 70 cause cancer. Well, according to the book that I am reading, they talk about lung cancer all the time, don't they? Oh, yes, you've got lung cancer. Apparently, and you remember all those poor dogs that were forced to smoke and animals that were forced to smoke, and they did all these tests? Apparently, according to this, and I have no reason to disbelieve this, no animal actually could get lung cancer. They could not convince get any information from the dissection of the lungs and things. There was no cancerous thing as a direct result of the smoking. That's what I take. But the amount of people, how they were bribed and how they were falsifying the what do you call it, the tests and things that they were doing to sort of prove, so that they could say, oh yes, here's a peer review thing to show that smoking is really bad for you. It does seem now that actually this is probably one of the last bastions that the truth people will find it difficult to swallow, because they've all been brainwashed just as way as everybody else. That there are great merits in this. And on a personal note, I can tell you the thing about smoking a pipe. Slows you down a bit. It's meditative. Meditative. There's an even better way of saying the word. Contemplative. It makes you sit back and think critically about what you're being told. You can sit there with your pipe, watch the world go by, and think to yourself, is that really true? Are they really telling me the truth? Is that Vobes bloke telling me the truth? Is anybody telling me the truth? Is anybody out there telling me what's really like? Slows you down, pauses you. We're so busy rushing around in our lives. We're so busy following the diktats of government. We're so busy trying to do everything correctly and not have a bill slammed in our face for a misdemeanor, an infringement. We need to slow down. We need to calm down. We need to relax. And we need to think, and think critically. People do not do any thinking. That their mind is being controlled by others. Get away. Get into the countryside. Take a pipe. And enjoy yourself. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have. Have a great time.